Now today's walk, we are we're in the section farthest east in Salt Lake City Cemetery, and as far south as you can go in the city cemetery before you cross over into Mount Calvary Catholic. Now, the plot location, as far as the city goes, is X1. Is the plot name, and we're just gonna go the grave that we wanna take a look at is most of the way across this plat, and has one of the most interesting epitaphs written that I myself have ever seen. It comes up in just about any search of haunted places or haunted locations here in Salt Lake, or just really strange locations, strange cemeteries here in Salt Lake. And just coming up on it here, right here, is the grave of Lily E. Gray. E stands for Edith. Born June 6th, 1881, died November 14th, 1958. And yes, you can, if you can read it, you're reading it right. Victim of the Beast, 666, is the epitaph that's on there. Now, you'll ask why anyone here in this nice little area, nice chunk of a city cemetery in Salt Lake would put that on. And I've asked that same self-question myself any number of times. There's a number of theories. One of the first is that somehow she had gotten caught up in the group led by a guy named Aleister Crowley, who was a Satanist, self-described beast, devil, back in the 1940s. Though this one seems very, it definitely seems not to be the case, because that was, Crowley died in 1947, a number of years before Mrs. Gray did. Therefore, most likely not the issue. There's a couple others, but the most likely theory is that after her death, or at her death, she died of pneumonia in a local hospital here in Salt Lake. And her husband, who had been in the state penitentiary a few times, felt that any government type institution was the beast, was the Antichrist. And because they let her die in the hospital, she was a victim of the beast being the hospital. I might also find it interesting to point out that her husband is not buried right next to her. He was her third husband, though she'd only been in Salt Lake just prior to marrying this husband. And he had himself buried as far over as you can get in the western end of the cemetery, and we are clear on the farthest east plot that you can possibly get here. So we're going to take a ride over. I'm not going to film it. This is a pretty large cemetery. And so we're gonna take a drive over, and we'll show you her husband's grave, and we'll be done with today's video. But it's a great headstone. Yeah? Alright, so here we are on the far western side of Salt Lake City Cemetery. This is the park section, which honestly is clear on the opposite end of section X1, where Lily Gray was buried. And right here at the footstone of the McIntyre family graves is the grave of Elmer Gray, the husband of Lily. Now, why he decided to bury himself clear over on the other end of the cemetery amidst a group of people who were not related, we don't know. Whether it was the plots next to Lily were taken at that point, or if he really just wanted to be away from her because of where and how she died. We don't know, but we do know that this is the husband of Lily who wrote such that strange epitaph, and we don't know. We really don't have the story. He died without saying anything, and the gentleman who sold and made that stone didn't talk, and he passed away back in the 1990s, and took the secret, took that little piece of information with him to his grave. Hope you have enjoyed today's little history lesson with the victim of the beast. Join me next time, where hopefully we'll have some other interesting stones from here in Salt Lake. Join me soon.